What's going on, guys? My name is Chris Holochek, and this is another session of Holo Sessions. And today's topic is being nice really that bad? And I got the inspiration for this subject really from my YouTube feed. I've noticed in recent years, on the internet, self-help or I don't know, improvement, or just all sorts of different niches and genres. I'm noticing being nice, or I guess too nice, is like really frowned upon. And it's become a point where it's like acting like it's worse to be too nice than to be, a rude and bad person, which I think is going a little too far. I get, obviously don't want to be too nice because, you can get walked on and you can build up resentment when in reality, you need to say no to what you want to say no to and yes to what you want to say yes to, and not withhold that for the sake of pleasing people or, making people like you. And I say this from experience because I'm, a recovering people pleaser. I've definitely done a lot of self-work in recent years. I used to get bullied quite a bit in school from being too nice. I've literally had bullies later on tell me that's why they bullied me, because I was being too nice and they thought I should stand up for myself. And I definitely feel like there could have been a better way for them to try to teach me that than to make my life miserable. But I learned, and really, after my mom died 10 years ago, that's when I started really like diving into self-development and therapy and just getting better, being a better version of myself. I had a lot of wounds growing up, and some being too nice back in the day was actually a survival tactic, growing up with my mom, and or even my dad too, just when they're divorcing or my mom had too much to drink, and it wasn't a safe environment to grow up in. And I had to kind of blend in and put my needs on the back burner and make sure my mom was okay, and pretty much look after her when she got too drunk. And also when she was in those drunk states, she tendency to get really mean and very unpredictable. So that was my way of being safe as a kid, just blending in, saying yes to everything, and keeping the peace. And there's even times as a kid where I've seen myself where I wanted to like stand up for myself or be fully myself, and I'd get indirectly punished for it. Like my mom kind of was a bully at times. I say that she was obviously a great person, had many great tendencies. I don't want to trash her name by any means, but as soon as she had that bottle, it was like Jekyll and Hyde. And I just feel like my mom, it's like she wanted me, I was an extension of her, so I had to I had to be perfect, because she wasn't. I was her second chance to be perfect. So she gave me those expectations to do everything perfectly and not make mistakes, just to, I guess, make up for everything she hated about herself, which it's definitely not the coolest thing for her to do that to her kid, but I forgive her now. It took a long time to do that, but I do. And I say all this with saying it took a long time for me to reverse these tendencies, and it took a lot of years, a lot of therapy, some good friends throughout the way helped push me out my comfort zone at times, and it was a slow process, but I've gotten more and more assertive. Are there still remnants of it that I need to work on? Absolutely. I still can be naturally shy at times, and need to be more outgoing. I know when I was performing on Broadway, that was one of the biggest, I guess, obstacles with them booking me, or a lot of the shows getting booked. Like, I just wasn't outgoing as much. I'd be shy, and people would act like that's such a bad thing. And I've finally gotten to a point in my life where I'm very comfortable with who I am now, and that shy, introverted part, I'm not ashamed of anymore, even though people try to make me feel bad for it. You know, I'm not ashamed of it because that's who I am. That's what the good Lord made me when he put me on this earth, to be like that. And I have my own strengths because of it. You know, you can say there's weaknesses like social anxiety or just not being outgoing, getting what you want. And people mistake it for a lack of confidence, and it's not. You don't like being around people as much. I like being in the woods more. I like being around animals more. You know, I trust them. Well, I don't know if I'd say that, but I trust a bear sometimes more than humans. I was hesitant to say that because there was that little internet trend a while back where women were saying, "Oh, I trust a bear over a man." I didn't want to sound like that, but yeah, I sometimes trust animals, even the predatory ones, more than humans. It's like Steve Irwin said. Yeah, an animal's pretty predictable. You know, like a crocodile, they want to eat you. Simple as that. But yeah, humans, you don't always know their intentions. They could be a friend and then come in and switch up on you, be a foe. And so we got some mowing over there. But yeah, through the years, you know, I tried for a long time to be more outgoing and assertive, and I am more so these days than I used to be. But after a while, I just decided, you know, I'm just gonna be me. And you know, people don't like that, then, well, they can hit the road. And yeah, so I guess a good way to put it is, if nice is referred to as being a pushover, I wouldn't be nice, I would be kind. And the difference is, kind people are generous by nature, but they don't let people walk over them. They're quick to, you know, establish boundaries, enforce them. You know, somebody crosses the line, they say something. And that's what I've become over the years. You know, I'm not that nice guy like I used to be. Like, I'm kind now. Like, yeah, I make the world a better place, try to, with everything I do, and I'm kind to people, but, you know, doesn't mean I put up with everything. If somebody crosses the line, I either say something or I walk away and keep that person out of my life. And it's been a lot of people that's exited my life in recent years, and that's okay. A lot of them weren't there for me, for the real me. They liked, yeah, who my stage persona. They like, yeah, more so what I can do for them, yeah, in the music community and stuff. And that's something, yeah, this time taking a break from music has done for me, has made me realize who was really there for me and not. And I said that in many videos already, but yeah, you definitely ain't nothing wrong with, you know, standing up for who you are, but you don't have to be rude about it. You don't have to, you know, intentionally, you know, just be a jerk just for the sake of, you know, getting respect. You know, if anything, that looks insecure doing that, like you're trying too hard. So at the end of the day, just be happy being you the way God gave you, or God made you, and you know, don't care what anybody else thinks. Just get comfortable with who you are, figure out who you are through time. And if you have a lot of trauma or stuff that's getting in the way of finding that out, you know, make peace with whatever is inside of you that's, you know, causing that disruption in you, that you don't have inner peace. You know, I still have plenty of stuff I'm working on, and I've also healed a lot of my trauma too. So, you know, it can be a never-ending cycle, but as long as you're making the right moves every day, doing a little thing every day to get better, that's all that matters. So, you know, if somebody says you're being too nice or something like that, you know what? You can, one, take that as constructive criticism and maybe don't make the same mistake that you made that made him say that, or two, just not care. And, you know, that's their opinion, and you can cut that person out of your life. Either way works, and will result in a better you. So yeah, I know it's obviously, with it going around the internet as much as it had, this nice guy thing, obviously a lot of people, you know, struggle with that. And I don't want to demonize a nice guy. You know, not every nice guy is trying to manipulate you or get what he wants by being nice. Some people are just naturally kind, and I just hope people one day will see the difference. I know a lot of girls in the dating scene here hate nice guys, and they trash them and stuff, and you know, I might be the most loyal guy you get. You give him a chance, and if anything, the guy who oversteps boundaries constantly to get you, if you're saying no and he keeps going, then he might be the abusive one. You know, it's that guy that might be a little too shy to say something, but you can tell, both there's something there between y'all. Sometimes you might have to make the move. Who knows, if you really want them to make it happen. But yeah, definitely is a good thing though when the guy makes a move. But again, everybody's different. And yeah, I'm not going to go too far off that subject there. But yep, at the time of this filming, I'm about to head to Thailand, or head to Washington State first to see my dad, and leave right after the fireworks to go to Thailand. So my flight is in a couple hours, so I'm about to go get ready and head to the airport. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed what you heard. If you did, please do like and subscribe my channel. Leave a comment if this resonated with you, if you're related in some way. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. And yeah, I'm gonna try to get something filmed in Thailand when I get there, and maybe have that come out the following Monday. We'll make it work. Anyways, thanks for listening. My name is Chris Holacek, and this is Holla Sessions, and Holla is hollering out.